Growing up, I really liked Rooster Teeth, and Rooster Teeth had the subsection of them called Achievement Hunter, and Achievement Hunter had a show called AWU, Achievement Hunter Weekly Update. I used to love that show, and I used to love that channel. Rest in peace. And at the start of this year, we were thinking about doing a news show for Toasty Bros or Toasty DIY, or for our accessory channel, Toasty Gaming, and we finally started that. And I want to talk to you about how it works. Hey there, McAllister with Toasty DIY, and I'm here to tell you all about the new news show we're doing over on Toasty Gaming, the 2:30 show, and just give you a little behind the scenes on how it's done. It's a very simple show. It's really based off AWU, the thing I loved growing up. And since that's no longer around, kind of trying to carry that proverbial torch and continue to give some news about gaming, tech, and for me, adding in tabletop gaming since I really enjoy it. So AWU was sort of a news show where at the beginning of the week, Jeff, the person who was making the show, would go through and look at the gaming news of the week. Maybe for them, they love doing achievements. So like on Xbox, making sure you get the achievements for I remember the one for getting a execution in Halo where you saved yourself from dying from fall damage because you got an assassination on somebody. And I remember watching that guide and seeing how to do it and jumping down, and it was a lot of fun. So he would go through and look at the games coming out, a little bit of gaming news, and then some achievements that would be there. And later I think they added in wins and fails and fun little other things to spice up the show. But we wanted to start something like that, or at least I did, and they wanted to do a gaming show, so I thought AWU was a great format because it's kind of haphazard and thrown together and a little bit more personality-driven and less news-driven, because I would love to give you all some news, but the fear of giving you inaccurate news kind of scares me because the internet's so big and wild, and there's so many things that in an hour of a day when I search for these things that I'm trying to find, it's hard to guarantee that I've searched it all the way down the journalism proper routes to make sure that is absolutely 100% everything is accurate. So I'd rather it be more of a, hey, these things are being talked about, and we here just so you're up to date, here's what they are, and here's what we know about them, and here's a small opinion from us, so it could be kind of fun. And if you like the Toast Bros team, you might like the show. So if you are somebody who watches Toasty DIY and you regularly keep up with the different videos coming out here, maybe go check out Toasty Gaming, check out the 2:30 show. We filmed about 3 of them now. I think 4. I think the 5th one will be going up. I'll be making it right after this, and I want to talk about how I make it. In case anyone ever asks, I can lead them over this way. So it's really easy, and I'm not gonna lie, it starts with a very simple tool. I start with ChatGPT. Now please don't flame me, I don't use it for the whole thing. What I do is I have ChatGPT look through, because it can search the web. I have it search through, and I tell it to look for news stories about tech, gaming, and tabletop, and to give me 10 options in the last 48 hours. And I tell it to give me sources. So that way I can go through and I read it, and I have it. Then once it's given me all these stories, I ask it to write a 1-sentence or 2-sentence primer on the story. I read through all these news stories, get the idea of what they are, and then once I feel like I have one I like, I go check the original sources, go down to all of them, and then I usually take them and start to look over them and try to reword them in a way where we can throw them into, regurgitate those news things to you all to make sure you're aware. I don't want to take credit for these news stories, but a lot of times it's things that are just press releases that a news outlet is covering, like the Nintendo Switch 2 release. It may credit a Polygon article for that, but honestly it was told to everyone via the YouTube video, however you want to look at it. It's just a way of disseminating news out from us to you all, and from greater sources, journalism gods above us, to put it into video and give it to you all. So if you have any curiosity about what's going on in tech, gaming, or tabletop, and you want to be caught up on that, like I said, over on Toasty Gaming, the 2:30 show, it's what we're calling it. We call it the 2:30 show. It was just kind of an in-house joke because at 2:30 is when we're 30 minutes from leaving for the day, and during that time, we usually start to get a little restless because it's too late to start any major projects, but it's too early to leave. So it gets a little noisy, it gets a little loud, and we film it around that time because usually it leads to just more funny, lackadaisical content. I didn't want to be taken as a journalist for this sort of thing, so I wanted to make sure that everyone had a way to step back from their story to make it clear that they are not the researcher and an architect of this story, but just a deliverer of the news. So the way all we used to do it was giving everyone a piece of paper. So what I do is at the beginning of the day, or whenever I get the time, I go through, get all these news stories together. I finally compile them. I copy them over from ChatGPT, whatever I have. I put them over into a Word document. I reread them, edit them, make sure they're fine, that we don't say anything. I really get annoyed. ChatGPT loves to brown nose companies. This is going to be the most inspiring game of the year. This a super creative storytelling idea. And I'm just get your nose out of their ass. Seriously, we're trying to tell the news or tell what's going on, not trying to persuade you to do anything. So it can be kind of frustrating when ChatGPT does that. So a lot of the editing I have to do is getting that, but I have an hour to find and then turn these news stories into a video concept and then a video concept into a filmed video and scripts, and then edit that down to post it by the end of the day. So the AI tools are super awesome for that. But I wish they were better because I keep having to reread these stories to confirm I'm not accidentally trying to persuade you to go play on the new 5090 because it's got an increased Blackwell architecture or whatever it was called. So with that in mind, I create these scripts. I usually create one for every person in the office that day, typically 5 scripts if I can, 4 at minimum. It seems to be the idea if it's a slow news week. Like after CES, it was pretty busy, and we had the new games of the month coming out and all that. But this week, it's going to be pretty slow, so I'm imagining about 4 stories for this week. And I'll go through, write them all up, get them all done, decide which ones are going to go in, put them in the document, print them all out. I'll put a little question at the bottom. So if it's a story about Mario Kart, I'll ask at the bottom, who do you play? So that way you get a little bit of personality in the end. And then I randomly hand out the scripts to everybody. I put a camera up in the main office room or wherever they're at, and I let them record their news story. And they go kind of wild on it, whatever they want to do. I just try to edit out anything that is accidentally incorrect that I didn't know about when I wrote it, or they'll usually call me out if I found news, because I tried to comment on the 5090, but it had come out by the time that this news article was. We had a pre-release copy, so I didn't know as much as they did, and Matt corrected me on that, which is great. And you get this kind of fun blend of tech, news, and the Toasty Rose team. So if that is something you enjoy, please do go check that out. At the end, I take all that. I've been using RuneScape and Undertale music because I just really love those 2 properties. I throw it in the background, and you get just a quick, usually 5 to 6 minute video about what's going on in the news and all that. And it's just a fun little project. I do watch the videos, and I'm so glad someone commented saying, I hope this isn't a ripoff of Awu. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I love Awu. I'm glad that you saw the through line too. I'm glad that we evoked that sort of imagery. I don't mind to be called a ripoff of it. I really did love it. And this is something that I dreamed of as a kid, was getting the chance to play and be in like Achievement Hunter, and that won't ever happen as they're gone. And this is damn close to it. So I want to enjoy this time and have fun doing things that I enjoy, and I really enjoyed Awu, so I thought maybe I can have my own little slice of heaven if I make it myself in a different format, more news focused than it was just achievements of the week, what's going on. But I'm hoping I'm starting off this way, but as people are different and times are different, slowly I imagine I'll diverge from seeming like an Awu clone as we learn new things, get new ideas, add new sections to it, edit it differently, however it works. I'm excited for that future, and thank you all for watching the show. If you have watched it, and if you haven't, that's fine. And I appreciate you all taking the time to even just check in on any of these videos here on DIY and Toasty Bros Gaming, and over on Toasty Bros especially. That keeps the lights on. So if you have any questions, leave them down below. If you have any ideas for how to improve the 2:30 show, you can leave them here. I'd appreciate that. And thank you all for stopping by. Take care. Peace.